Y'all, this is my beautiful Kiefer pear tree. I want you to look at all the pears on it. We're going to make some pear preserves, and so I just wanted y'all to see this. And look at that beautiful butterfly on that thing. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? See, the end of the pear is kind of rotten, and he is up there in that pear trying to get him some juice. Isn't that great? But anyway, these are big Kiefer pears. And they're hard pears. Like they're not soft at all. They're real hard. Oh, I scared him away. But this is a hard Kiefer pear. Let me pull one. Okay, I'm back up from the pear trees. It's another day. I picked all these pears off of my Kiefer pear tree. Aren't they pretty? And so I've already got some in a pot over here, but I wanted to show y'all how I do this. I've got this little peeler thing, and it's good to use, but sometimes it's hard to get set up. So what you've got to have it on a flat surface, which my chopping block's not always flat. You put it down, you got a little lever here that you pull, and it's supposed to tighten up on there. So I'm gonna try it a time or two, and it's not tight. It should have it so that it doesn't even pull up. All right, now it's set. And what I do is got another lever. I pull this out. Pull that out. If I can get it back through. There we go. Pull it out. And you put your pear in. So I'm just going to pick one out. I'll pick this one out. You put the fat end of the pear. You stick it in that little, right there. And it's going to core it and cut it up. You push it in. And you can do this now with just, you don't have to have this gadget. And then you just start turning it. And that little thing right there, if you can see that, it's going to peel that pear for you. So and I've got my garbage can sitting right down here so it'll catch all this stuff that's fixed to come off of it. And you turn your little handle. I'm just turning it. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm turning it. And you keep going till it goes all the way through there. And then you pull this out, or pull it off, I should say, and pull your core out. Look at that. And I'm going to take my knife, and I'm going to do just a little bit of trimming on it. I'm going to do a little bit of trimming on it. See, at the end, I'm going to trim a little bit of that off. And there I have my cut up pear for my pear preserves. You see how it cuts it up for you like that? Now, wasn't that easy? This is why I do it like this. Sometimes it will miss a little bit of the core on the inside. I cut it like this sometimes and cut some of that extra core out just a little bit, in case it left some of that hard in there, because you don't want your pear preserves to be hard. But these are Kiefer pears. They're real, real crunchy, but they make great pear preserves. Now, I'm going to turn you off a little bit and get my supplies. I'll show you something else. Okay, we're going to do another pear. So what I do is I lift this push that little lever in and pull this back out like that. Put me another pear in there. Push it in and start turning. All right, it peels it, and then that core goes through that hole right there. And you see all the peeling falling down on the floor. That's why I've got my garbage can in it. All right, and I just pull that off like that. The core is out. I see y'all. And I pull the core off. And I take my knife and I examine my work. And right here you can see a little bit of peeling. Not that that wouldn't be good in a preserve, but we're going to cut it off. There we go, like that. I've got my pot right here. And I'm just going to put it in my pot. Pear preserves are easy to make, and you can make a lot of things out of it. All right, I'm going to just kind of do them in two. And I see a little bit of core that it left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that little part out. Now, if you want to do yours with a knife, you certainly can. I've done it with a knife for many, many years. All right, what you do is you put this in your pan, and I actually filled up. It was pretty full when I did this yesterday. And I put 1.5 cups of sugar. You might put 2 cups. You can't really put too much sugar. And I covered it. I didn't mix it in, I just covered it. And I let it sit out all night with a top on it in that sugar. And I want you to look at the juice. Can you see that it produced? You see that? That's pear juice and sugar. So now I fix to put it on my eye over here. I'm gonna put it on my eye and turn it on high till it gets hot. Then I'm gonna turn it really low with the top off of it. And it's gonna cook down into pear preserves. And when it cooks down, you don't want to overcook it. It's gonna take a while. As soon as the pears get tender and your juice kind of starts looking a little bit on the thick side, it's ready to jar up. So we will do that, and occasionally you will have to stir it. This should make maybe 3 or 4 jars, pints or something like that. So anyway, we're gonna make pear preserves today. That'll be so good on homemade biscuit this winter. I'm gonna cook it a while, and then when it's time to jar it up, I'm gonna get right back on here with y'all. So during that time, y'all can do something else. Okay. Okay, my pears have started boiling, and I wanted you to see. And I meant to tell y'all a while ago, and I hope that I did, that none of that juice that you saw was water. You don't put any water in it. I just put the sugar on top, let it sit overnight, and that juice is from the pears and the sugar. So I did taste this a while ago, and I decided that it was not sweet enough. So I think the total amount of sugar that I've put in here is about 3 to 3.5 cups. It's got to be enough that your broth on this is syrupy. And if you have syrup left over when you get through making your pear preserves, you just bottle that up too. And that syrup is like pear syrup, and it's delicious on pancakes. So come over here and look in the pot, and you will see that I barely got it cooking. See the little bubbles? And that's what I'm going to continue to do for probably several hours. I'm gonna time it for y'all so that you'll know exactly how long I do cook it. But it's got to get my pears tender, and the syrup has got to kind of thicken up a little bit. If you cook it too long, your syrup will turn to candy, and you'll have candied pears, which won't smear on your biscuit very good. Okay, but we're just gonna let it cook a while. All right. Are ready for the pear preserves, and what I did is they're boiling. Come and look down in here, and they have been cooking for 2 hours. I put them on at 9, and it is now 5 minutes till 11, so you might as well say 2 hours. I'm gonna turn them down just a little. In this pot in the back, I have my lids, my flats as y'all call them, and I'm getting those nice and hot so I can go ahead and seal my jars. All right, what you're gonna need too is you're gonna need some tongs to get them out because they're hot. Get my tongs down in there and get those hot. You don't want any germs. And you've got your jars out here, and put those on a cloth. I've got those over here on a cloth. All right, here's what I do. I've got this little contraption that keeps the lid of my jars clean. And so I'm going to put that on a jar, bring it over here, get some hot pears out, pear preserves, put them in there, let them fall down in, like this. And you want to come to the kind of the top of it. Now I need some juice in there so that the juice gets up there to the little rim part. There we go, like that. And put this in another jar. Now what you want to do now is, if you can see this, let me get you a little bit closer. I always have a clean rag out, and I make sure that I wipe the rim of the jar, because if any stickies on it, it will not seal. And that's good and hot. Then I take one thing out at a time, one flat at a time, if I can do this. Goodness gracious. And I take that out and I wipe off this real quickly, because you don't want to take too long, you want it hot. I put it on there, and then I put my ring on it. You want to do just one jar at a time. Do not do a bunch at a time. Tighten it, not too tight, just regular tight. Set it over to the side. Then you immediately do another jar. So I put this in. See, we're going to have pear preserves this winter, y'all. Okay, take a little fork, put that down in there. Take this off, put it in another jar. Take your clean cloth, wipe the rim off, and just in case. Then I get me a flat out of that boiling water in the back and put it on my jar, like that. Get me a ring, put it on there, hold it and tighten it up a little bit, put it to the side, and start another one. I don't know how many we're going to make today. Looks like maybe 4, possibly 4.5. And these are kefir pears that I have planted in my orchard. George and I planted them, I don't know, long time ago. I know that. And they've made pears for years and years and years. The tree itself right now looks a little bit ratty, because it's like old folks. It starts to look bad. I'm going to put a little bit more juice in that one. It needed some. Okay, getting the flat out over here. I can get one. Come here, boy. There we go. Dry it off. Wipe off the rim. And while that's still good and hot, then you put your lid on it. And you've got another little jar. Set it to the side. Anyway, you see how to do this. It's easy. I don't know what the hardest part, if I had to say what it would be. I really don't know. I guess peeling and cutting up, but I've got that little gadget which helps a pretty good bit. It doesn't always work perfectly. Sometimes if you don't have enough to fill up a whole jar, what you need to do is just put it in the rest of it in a little bowl and put it in the refrigerator and eat that first. Okay, push that down in there. Look at that. All right, let's get another lid. Uh-oh, two stuck together. Let's see if I can get them apart without getting them cold again. There we go. Put it on. See? We're making pear preserves. There's another one. Set it right here. And this is going to be my last one. Right here. This is it. Push that down in there a little bit. We're going to have 5 little pints today. And I can see that I'm going to have just a few little pears left over, but not much. It turned out fairly close. Okay, let's see. All right. Move this out of the way. And I'm going to wipe off the rim. And take out the flat. In this hot boiling water back here. So you can see how they're boiling. Dry it off. Put it on and then put my ring on it. Tighten it a little bit. All right, I've got one extra jar. That's okay. And then put it over here. And what you want to do, I just turned my air conditioner where it would kind of go off for a while. And the reason I did that is when you've got your jars like this, come over here and look at them. When you've got your jars like this, they need to be sitting on a cloth. And then you have them like this, and you see this? That part will go in. It will seal itself, and you'll hear a little pop. And when it pops, when it makes that sound, you know that your jars have sealed. That means that that little rubber part in there has gotten so hot that it's actually sealed. And these don't need to be in a draft. So I'm going to make sure my fan's off over here. There we go. I got my air conditioner off, and I've got it kind of sitting over here in the corner. You don't have to cover them or anything. Just let them sit here. And after a while, when they cool, you'll hear that little pop. And if this flat goes in and it doesn't go up and down, it won't go up and down after a while, that means it's sealed. If it goes up and down and you push it down and it stays down, it's sealed after a while. But if it continually goes up and down and you can't get it quit going up and down when you mash it, that means it is not sealed. That means you need to put that one in the refrigerator and use it first, since it didn't seal. But if it's sealed, it'll last, I don't know, years and years, I guess. But anyway, so we made our pear preserves today, and that'll be a good thing. Hey, that's a good thing. Here's my extra that I had left over that it didn't fit in anything. So I'm gonna get me a little bowl, or here's a cup, and I'm gonna rake it out in there. And you know what? Tomorrow, I can use this first. I'll show you how much I had left over. Just a cup, probably a cup or half a cup or whatever. But I can use these first on a biscuit tomorrow or whenever else I want to eat them. The color turned out pretty, I think, don't you? So, here we go. Let me pick one up and show it to you. Here's our little pear preserves we've made this morning. That's all it is to it. There's nothing to it. Actually, to me, preserves are a lot easier to make than jelly, but who knows? Anyway, y'all, let's hang in there today. Praise God for being able to have hands to make preserves and all our little blessings. And I do thank Him. I thank the Lord for every blessing. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. Okay, I've been out mowing the grass, and I came back in to see if they had sealed. And what you do is you just put your finger on it. See how it doesn't go up and down? That one's sealed. That one is, that one is, that one is, that one is. They're all sealed. If it goes up and down and keeps going up and down, that means they're not sealed. But all of ours sealed, so now we can have pear preserves with our biscuits. Oh, yes, y'all. This is a good thing. Bye-bye.